Reinforcement is you allowing not something to exist, but allowing something to persist. Okay? Rewarding is when you allow it to exist. Reinforcement is when you allow it to persist. This is damaging for a culture. If you're a leader, understand this. You cannot reinforce nor reward negligence because you get more of it. I created the execution playbook for leaders and high performers to hit bigger goals faster with less wasted effort. Now let's get into the show. Welcome back, everyone. If you have been enjoying these episodes diving into Credos, I just advocate to you and I remind to you that you should invest into a person. What I mean, share these episodes with someone in your inner circle or circle of influence and allow yourself to invest into them. Invest into who they are and what they got going on. The only way we grow this show, we tend to market this show, is not through paid ads or any social media or anything. We just do it by word of mouth because we believe that people, once they believe in something, they will share what they believe in and they will become part of what they believe in. So if you have gotten not advice but evidence that has impacted your life so far in the beginning of this show, I advocate to you to share it with someone in your circle of influence to allow them to be impacted and also benefited. We are about to dive into part 3 of Credo, and I'm excited for this journey as we're continuing it. And this one is going to be very, very good, especially for leadership. If you are in leadership, if you are in a position where you lead people, then this would be impactful for you to learn how to lead with faith and with efficiency. A lot of times what happens is we are leading and we got that +2 steps, -1 step action happening all the time. And the idea if you can demonetize that into less and be more efficient in your progress, things may increase better, faster. So that's the goal here, is to get into more of a leadership talk with Credos 11 through 15. So Credo 11. Plan and execute with precision. Never enter into nor invest in a business without a solid, well-researched, and well-thought-out written plan. Execute the plan with passion and precision. Plan and manage your life the same way. What is he talking about? David is bringing it in here and say, hey, never enter into nor invest into a business without a solid, well-researched, and well-thought-out written plan. Do not begin to step forward. Do not allow yourself to be curious about committing before a solid, well-researched, and well-thought out. Then he says written plan. What is he talking about? Well, first of all, it should be written. Paper. This is the plan. This is what we should be doing. There's no clarity without writing. It ain't happening. You want to have clarity, write it out on paper. Get it done on paper. The transformational energy that happens when you're writing things out in your brain, in your psyche, is revolutionary. Kekic understands this. He says, hey, do not allow yourself to commit to something without writing a plan, without writing it on paper. Taking the thought processes out of you, because honestly, until we write it out, doesn't matter how much clarity we believe we have, the thought processes are scrambled. Why? Well, because they are in us and of us, and for us to analyze them, we must get them outside of us. And so getting them on paper, getting our thought processes on paper, getting our vision, our dreams, our hopes on paper, and saying, okay, now since I wrote these things on paper, I'm going to analyze, I'm going to dissect, I'm going to research and I'm going to think these things out. Clarity before emotion is a problem. When you choose to have movement without a plan. Okay? You cannot walk forward and have motion without full clarity. Your clarity depends on your ability to execute, but your ability to execute depends on your clarity. Now, I'm not saying if you don't understand anything, if you're dumb, that's a license to do nothing. But the idea behind this is like, hey, before you are literally investing to a business, investing to something solid, something commitment, something that could potentially have intense downsides, right? Then you definitely want to have a solid, well-researched, and well-thought-out written plan. Period. If you're not doing this, if you're not putting your ducks in a row, like done, check mark, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, then your efficiency rating is going to deplete. This isn't about can I do the right or wrong. No, we've surpassed that. Me and you, we've surpassed the ability to probably make money like you should be. We surpassed the ability to be into a leadership position, leading people. You should be. If you're on the show, this is who you are, or you're called to do that, and you're getting to that season. What this is, okay, I'm already here. I'm already in these positions. How can I be more efficient? And this is saying, hey, you want to be more efficient? You want to have more success on the other side and stop having stumbling blocks and stumbling over things all the time? This is it. Before you commit, before you hire, before you bring on, before you make a decision, have a solid, well-researched, and well-thought-out written plan according to the vision and purpose that you want to get to. A written plan turns emotion into execution. Write it out instead of the hype, the dreaming, because what happens, we dream about things. We have these dreams in our mind about what's possible. But until you write it down, it's a dream, not a vision. Period. You want vision? You want clarity? Turn your dream to vision by writing it down. A written plan. How I'm going to get here. What it's going to take. Who's involved? When is the deadline? What are the tasks that are pillars that allows me to be here? Write it down. Write the plan down. Be clear. Be super clear on it. Turn that hype emotion, the hype energy, into execution. Period. Enough of the hype. Execute. Get it done. Go back. Get it done. Go back. Get it done. Keep going. Keep getting it done. No hype. Turn initial dreams into visions. Then he goes to the end. He says, plan and manage your life the same way. Treat your life like a business. Managed, measured, and intentional. We do our jobs this way. We do our businesses this way. Why don't we manage our lives the same way? We have written plans out for our business. We know who we only allow into our business. Right? If this is a person, is it beneficial for the environment of the business? We are very critical to allow them to exist there. But when it comes down to our livelihood, do we adopt the same philosophy of allowing people to be present, to bring their energy into the sacred place of the home, of the realm of my proximity? Do we allow the same philosophy to exist? That's your question. Treat your life the same way. Manage it. Move pieces around like a chessboard. Be serious about the people you're around. Be serious about the things that you do with your time. Measure your goals. Measure yourself by your future self. The only thing you should be adding up to right now is who you are called to become, not your past self. And allow your future self to show you the stuff that needs to be taken to get there. What do I mean? If your future self is number 10 and you're currently at number 4, then you're like, okay, now I have leftovers of 6. Well, the 6 leftovers are actionable steps, the plans and the missions that allows you to get to number 10. So when you measure up to your future self, the person you want to become in the future, who that person is, what they're doing, and then you see where you're at now, and then you subtract what's in the middle, those are the plans and steps and the processes that allows you to get there. Measure that intensely. Measure that day in and day out, weekly. If you're going over and over in your weeks and times, you're not measuring your future self, you're not progressing. Period. That ain't happening. You're progressing somewhere, but not to where you want to go. You're allowing the winds and noise of life to distract you and pull you off course. You think you're going, but you're not going. You think you're moving, but you're not moving. You're moving somewhere, but you're moving on the hamster wheel. Pointless. There's action, there's work, but you're not going anywhere. You're not doing anything. Why? Because you're not measuring intentionally of where you're going. This walk in life and business cannot be done aimlessness. It cannot. It has to be done with intentionality, with the ability to execute with full intentional of what we're executing towards, which means we have to have clarity, because without clarity, there's no intentionality. If you can't see, if you don't know, if you're distracted, you can't be intentional. What matters? You can't. You cannot. You must manage your life like a business. We manage our business. We move pieces around. We do allow this. We have non-negotiables. These are measured. We track, we analyze, and then we are very intentional on what matters and what we need to do to get to the next level. Treat your life like a business and treat your business like your life. Number 12. Concentration creates acceleration. He says, success comes quickly to those who develop great powers of intense concentration. The first rule is to get involved by asking focused questions. Slow down. Slow down. Shut up. Stop talking and slow down. Become a learner. Become an advocate of your environment, which means an advocate support people. Doesn't have to lead in intense conversations and hype conversations. But slow down and ask focused questions. Focused questions. When you're able to ask focused questions, it unlocks deep thinking, deep concentration. He says the first rule is to get involved by asking focused questions. If you are distracted by the noise, you are eliminated from this ability. Period. It can't happen. The opposing viewpoint of focused questions is distraction. If you are not full of clarity, if you're not intentional, you are not going to be asking focused questions. Why? Because you have to focus on a thing to understand a thing. It is simply once you understand the thing, then you are allowed to ask focused questions, because you cannot ask focused, intentional, deep questions that are tailored to a person, a situation, or a thing until you slow down, kill the noise, and focus on a thing for a set period of time. This is why it's so hard for people to accelerate, to progress, is because first they're distracted by the noise. And then when it comes time to listen and sit there and be a student, they cannot be. They want to talk. They don't want to listen. They don't want to hear. And they can't ask focused questions, because the middle ground of learning what you're asking questions to, who you're asking questions for, you can't even learn them enough to do it. It takes time to learn. It takes time to deposit. And we don't allow ourselves to do that. Depth always beats speed. Every single time. Every single time. If you see a tsunami on top of the ocean, rushing, okay? Power, great power. We look at that with tremendous fear of the speed and power of the tsunami. But what we don't understand is the depth of the tsunami that actually supports it. It's the depth of it. What do I mean? What you do on the back end, what you do in private, what you do when no one's looking, beats what you do when everyone's looking. Who you are in private time will conquer your person, your identity in the public time. Value your private self over your public self. Because your public self is full of hype energy. Your private self is full on depth energy. Depth energy is stationed, doesn't move. Stagnant, it doesn't move, it's there. Hype energy fluctuates. Personality fluctuates. But your private self, that's your identity, that's who you are, that's who you choose to be in a moment deeply. Allow that to be when you progress, where you progress at, where you are serious and intentional at, is in the private time. Concentration in leadership is the hidden currency in your ability to get things done. Leaders are dealt with tremendous distractions. Fires here, fires there. And your ability to concentrate on a thing without allowing said thing to pull your attention off one thing. Even though the fire's to the right, you understand that the goal is in the front. And you don't take your eyes off the goal to go to put out the fire. That is a tremendous ability to obtain. Once you obtain that, it's very, very beneficial. Very beneficial. Your ability to concentrate as a leader, like sheer clarity, intentionality breeds concentration. Concentration is when you have a clarity, you have intentionality, and an understanding of what's in front of you. And you aren't wavering. You are walking towards it to obtain the goal, to obtain the trophy, to gather and grasp the mission. That is what Kek is just saying. Success comes quickly to those who develop great powers of intense, sustained concentration. He says intense when you don't want to do it, when you're ready to stop, when you don't think what you're concentrating on matters anymore. That is intense, that you keep going, you're pressing in through the mode, you're different, you're pressing on when it doesn't even make sense. And then, not just one time you're pressing on, it's sustained concentration over time, perpetually concentrating on the thing that doesn't make sense, that hasn't paid you back yet. That is the hidden currency. That is the hidden currency for leadership. 13. Protect your downside. Keke says, protect your downside. The upside will take care of itself. Cut your losses short and let your profits run. This takes tremendous discipline. Control your risk before chasing your reward. Now, one thing is to first also understand your risk before chasing your reward. Because the last thing you need is to be caught off guard, to have deferred hope. In the Bible says that deferred hope makes the heart sick. And this is the problem. We step into positions, we step into situations that we don't calculate the risk. And we do calculate the reward. But the risk that happens throws us off course. Why? Because we have hope for the reward and we didn't have any understanding for the risk. And so when we don't get the reward and there's risk coming involved into the play, we don't see it. It defers our hope for another time. It doesn't. The hope of getting the reward doesn't happen. It doesn't exist, and it makes the heart sick. So control your risk by allowing yourself to understand the risk before chasing the reward. Go for the reward, run towards it, obtain it, but calculate the possibility of things not happening. Why? Because before you are in a race, before you are in an obstacle run, it is very beneficial that if you are a ninja warrior, that you have trained and you understand the obstacles. It would be very dumb for a ninja warrior to go to an obstacle that he's had a chance to think about and look at, and he has no idea what he's about to run and the obstacles he's about to have to overcome, especially when they're challenging. Be the same way in your life. Analyze, track, deposit the risk, and then chase the reward. Discipline is when you know when to stop. You know when to stop. You understand this is the end of this. I'm going to cut my losses short. I'm going to lose here, but I'm done. Why? Because I'm protecting my downside. I'm gambling. Okay, I've lost a lot. Done. Protect. We can win another day. I'm protecting my downside. I'm protecting my bottom line in the business. I'm protecting my ability to not decrease to an amount of a threshold that doesn't allow me to get to where I'm at. What does that mean? If you're mountain climbing, for an example, if you were to fall to a position where you lose your tools, okay? Because of negligence, of you attempting to do something that's negligent, you are going to be stuck there for a minute, analyzing and thinking, how did you get there and how are you going to get out of there? And there may be a little trauma and fear because of what just happened. Protect your downside. Do the things that matters. Do the most important thing, but do not get caught up in risk by chasing the reward. Protect your downside. Don't be stupid. Protecting your floor allows your ceiling to rise. Your floor is your bottom line. Your ceiling is your top line. Your floor is the foundation that allows your ceiling to exist. We're not going to get into this entirely. But if you destroy your floor, you destroy your ceiling. Because there's no ceiling without a floor. Think of your house. Think of your home. It ain't happening. You're not throwing a ceiling first. You're building that foundation first. You're building the floor. Your floor is your downside, your bottom line. Protect it. Protect your beliefs in your culture. Protect your processes in your culture. Protect your systems in your culture. Those are your floors. That is it. That is it. In your privacy, outside of work, outside of business, protect your environment. Protect your beliefs and protect your habits. Those are your floors. You want your ceiling to rise? Protect your floor. Protect your downside. Number 14. Create and keep customers. The primary purpose of business is to create and keep customers. Ooh, this is good. Market and innovation produce results. All other business functions are cost. Prospecting and increasing the average value of frequency of sales are the bedrock of marketing and business. This is going to be money. Okay. The primary purpose of business is to create and keep customers. Primary, not secondary, not third in line, fourth, fifth in line. Not when you feel like it. No. The primary purpose of your business is to create and keep customers. Retention. Customers are built, not bought. Customers are built brick by brick, wood by wood. They're not bought. Bought customers don't have buy-in because no. We are humans. We spend money on anything. We don't care. We actually don't care. Loyalty, belief in the product, in the service is where you build customers. Not because they buy it. No. Do you have a loyal market? Do you? Do you have a loyal market? Innovation is the purest of marketing. He says marketing and innovation produces results. Period. Done. Market and innovation produces results. Your ability to be different and serve your market at a different angle is highly beneficial. For example, I'm an Apple guy. Obviously, I like iPhones, iPads, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But my phone is now 5 years old, 4 years, around there. I don't even know anymore. I used to keep up with all of that. And Tissy, new year, new phone. Every year you get a new phone. New phone come out, buy it, pre-order it, get it. Okay? And then I got to a position like, well, I'm not getting a new one. They're all the same. There's nothing happening. There's nothing really different. And why would I get something different? Why do I believe that in my heart? Because I don't feel any innovation. Especially as a business leader, I'm all about innovation. I don't feel anything different. I miss that innovation. I miss that, whoa, this is really cool. Your innovation is the purest form of marketing. Be different. Learn how to have vision and dreams. Push beyond imaginations, your current imaginations. Innovate. Inform your purest form of marketing by your innovation. The business that serves best scales longest. The business that produces not results, not just results for their clients, but the results that they produce to their clients is consistent. That's the thing. I'm going to give you results. But when you come back to my restaurant, when you come back here, when you come back here, when you come back there, when you come back to my campaign, when you come back to my hotel, when you come back, you're going to get the same thing. The best. That is scalability because that breeds loyalty every single time. Number 15, make it proprietary. If it's not proprietary, it won't work. Pay only on performance. Proprietary interest is one of the most powerful forces ever known. Whatever you reinforce or reward, you get more of. This is the most solid way to end this show, the episode. If it's not proprietary, it won't work. Pay only on performance. Ownership in your company, ownership in your mission, ownership in your culture creates obsession. The easiest way to get someone to advocate into who they are, into their beliefs. You want someone to become an A player? If you do, you want someone to become an A player? You get them to become obsessed in their process to becoming who they can become. So what you give them a golden nugget in their future. Ownership. Here you go, a piece of the pie. And because they have a piece of the pie, they're more invested into the processes. Why? Because they have value. You pay on performance. You pay on performance. This culture of paying on negligence is rewarding negligence. He says, whatever you reinforce or reward, you get more of. Money. Money. That bar is money. When you're paying your people for the lack of execution, over time, you're going to get lack of execution. If you are rewarding bad behaviors in your culture, you're going to get that. What I mean, even if if you have a reinforcement of positivity when someone does something wrong, constantly, their energy is wrong, energy is off, and you don't dismiss them, and you are rewarding the bad behavior by allowing them to stay in your culture, in your business. You're going to get more of that in your culture. Why? Because you rewarded the behavior by allowing it to exist. Can't happen. It can happen. Reinforcement. Reinforcement is you allowing not something to exist, but allowing something to persist. Okay? Rewarding is when you allow it to exist. Reinforcement is when you allow it to persist. This is damaging for a culture. If you're a leader, understand this. You cannot reinforce nor reward negligence because you get more of it. You get more of it. Cut out any behaviors that doesn't add up to your vision, your mission, and your culture. Cut it out. Any beliefs that are not a part of who you are, cut it out. Why? Because you cannot have floorboards in your home that are rotten. Are you tracking? Are you tracking? And then believe that you should be solid. No, you're not going to be solid. Why? Because you have floorboards. You have a foundation in your home of bad beliefs, and they're rotten. And you're going to fall through. And when you fall through, you got to get back up, replace, take time and energy to replace it and fix it, where you can be executing on marketing and innovation, on building the business. Make it proprietary. If it's not proprietary, it won't work. Pay only on performance. Proprietary interest is one of the most powerful forces ever known. Whatever you reinforce, you allow to persist, or whatever you reward, you allow to exist, you will get more of it. Money. So my challenge to you this week, find a single process in your business or in yourself, in your private time, and who you are, that if you refine it or automate it, it would create momentum everywhere. This is called constraint theory. What is the one thing in your business or in yourself, the one thing that if you refine it or automate it, will have a ripple effect everywhere? Then execute it with focus, precision, and patience until it compounds. That is all I have for you, team. Thank you. I will talk to you soon. Deuces.